Tired of the rut you're stuck in, but don't know what to do?
Change it up. Join life transitions therapist, speaker, and best-selling author Paula Shaw. She'll be exploring topics that make change and the challenge it presents smoother and more productive. She'll also be spotlighting change makers who are leading the charge to make the world a better place. If you're ready to live a more exciting life, at home, in the workplace, and around the world, it's time to step out of your comfort zone and change it up. Now, here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome to Change It Up Radio here with Paula Shaw. So delighted to have you with me today. Did you know that you have unseen codes in your DNA that are controlling your life? Ever wondered why, no matter what you do, you can't seem to be as successful as you want to be, or you can't seem to have that great relationship that you want? Yes, there are codes. There are many things going on in our DNA and in our subconscious mind. And on today's show, which I'm calling Cracking the Code to a Great Life, Sandra Biskind will be joining us and talking to us about how to break those codes so that we can tap in and have the life of our dreams. I can't wait to talk to Sandra because she and her husband, Daniel Biskind, have written this best-selling book, Codebreaker, and we will be talking about that and so much more in just a little bit. So stay with us. And going back to the very beginning, I just wanted to say welcome to Change It Up Radio. Those of you who follow us know that we're a show that's all about change. Our mission is to help people deal with change because, you know, we humans have this love-hate relationship with it. We need it so that we stay interested and so we keep growing in our lives. But we hate the discomfort of it. We hate not feeling on top of our game and having that which is familiar and comfortable around us. So on this show, we seek to also bring you information that helps you deal better with change. I'm an author of Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? And Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say, as well as Chakras, the Magnificent Seven. And I'm also a life transitions coach. And my work, and I'm a speaker, and most of the time I'm speaking on how do we deal better with change? How do we deal better with transitions in our lives? How do we know what to say to others who are going through transitions? It's tricky. It's really tricky. We're really good at the easy conversations. We're great at talking about the latest fashions or what you saw on social media or what happened in the big game last night. But when somebody's lost their job or their mom or they have to move and they don't know what to do, it's hard for us to have those conversations. And one of the reasons it's hard often is because of our own subconscious beliefs. And the tricky part about subconscious beliefs is that we don't know we have them. Right? You know, we don't know that we have them because they're subconscious. Only the stuff that resides here in the conscious frontal cortex of the brain are we really aware of. But as Sandra and I will be discussing today, it's the subconscious stuff and the stuff even on the genetic level that is causing us to respond and react to life the way we do. And sometimes we're happy with the way we respond, and sometimes we're really not. Sometimes, you know, it's that thing you keep doing that you hate yourself for, but you feel like you don't know how to stop doing it. Or the dream you have that you don't seem to know how to be able to make come true. Now, in my own work, I work with helping people clear limiting subconscious beliefs. And a lot of you have been writing in and saying, well, tell us more about what you do in your own work. So before we get to our segment with Sandra and finding out what she and her husband Daniel do in breaking the codes that are controlling our behavior, let me tell you a little bit about one of the aspects of my work and how that happens in a typical session. So I'll give you an example of a woman who came in and she said, I don't know what it is about me. I seem to be a magnet for every loser, every narcissist, every guy out there who only thinks of himself. And I don't know why. I know I deserve a great relationship. And I said, I wonder if you're holding a subconscious belief that's contrary to that. Like maybe you're holding a subconscious belief that you don't deserve to be treated well by a man, or that you're not worthy of being treated well by a man. Well, she looked at me and said, oh, no way that's happening. I know I'm worthy. I know I deserve to be treated well. So we used a little tool that I love called neuromuscular feedback, commonly known as muscle testing. And the cool thing about muscle testing is it bypasses this conscious part of the mind, and it goes right to the subconscious and the body. And so the way it works, some of you have probably seen a demonstration where somebody held their arm out and, they try to be strong, or they're strong, and then they have a certain thought that stresses them or something like that, and they go weak. So the way muscle testing basically works is when something is congruent with you, it's truth for you, then it strengthens your energy field. And so if someone puts pressure on a muscle, you can remain strong. But when something is not congruent for you, or it's not your truth, it weakens your field. And then when somebody puts pressure on a muscle, your arm will go weak, or whatever muscle they happen to be testing. A lot of chiropractors use this. In the field of energy psychology, we use it all the time, extensively. So I had her make the statement, I don't deserve to be treated beautifully by a man. And guess what happened to her arm? Weak as it could be. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. It was strong as it could be. I was just thinking in reverse. Her arm was strong, which means that she's congruent with that statement. She actually, on a subconscious level, does believe that she doesn't deserve to be treated well by a man. So again, because I just kind of goofed that up, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. When you do believe something on that subconscious level, the muscle will be strong when pressure's put on it. And that's what I found with her. So now we write down what that limiting belief is. And the next step is then to clear that belief. Because obviously, if she's holding on to that belief is putting out energy, putting out a certain frequency, and whatever frequency is put out is going to attract a vibrational match. Obviously, we don't want a vibrational match to I don't deserve to be treated beautifully by a man, because then you're going to do what was happening to her, attract men who won't treat you beautifully. So then what I do is I'll muscle test what method would be best for this particular person to clear that limiting belief, which we can do. And so I'll muscle test whether EFT, which is also known as meridian tapping, is good. There's a method called PEP that uses lung alarm points that I really love. Another one, developed by my friend Sandy Radomski, called Ask and Receive. Really love that method, and it works on more of a quantum level, working in the energy field. And then sometimes I'll do chakra work, or sometimes we need to do a visualization. There are many methods that can be used to clear a limiting belief. So we did that with this particular woman. And then after we've cleared the negative belief, we want to put in a positive one, right? Because we have so much energetic space. If it's filled with a negative belief, we need to get rid of that. Now we don't want to leave that space empty. We want to fill it with what we want. So in her case, we filled it with a belief like, I deserve to be treated like a queen by a wonderful man, or I deserve to be treated beautifully by all men who see my worthiness. So now We put that statement in, we have her say it, we have her feel it, we have her believe it, and then I muscle test her again after saying that, and she was strong. So again, strong means you're congruent with the belief. And by the way, before we came up with the repatterning statement, we retested her on, I don't deserve to be treated beautifully by a man. And guess what? This time she was weak. So now that's telling us she isn't holding that belief anymore. We cleared it. Then we put the repatterning statement in, which is the positive statement, and retest her again to see if she's strong for that statement. And that's pretty much how it works when we are doing a clearing of those limiting beliefs that, again, without us realizing they even exist, they are attracting negative outcome. They're affecting our thoughts, our behaviors, and our feelings. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because most of us are walking around with limiting beliefs that we don't even know that we have. And they are powerful because, let's remember, the subconscious mind is like 95% of our mind functioning. This frontal cortex, which we're all trying to think our way through life with, is only like 5%. So if we don't clear the negative beliefs that are really the elephant versus the flea in the frontal cortex, then we're always going to be run by those beliefs. Now, my guest today, Sandra Biskind, she and her husband Daniel wrote a book called Codebreaker, and they talk about the codes that are in our very DNA that are doing this same kind of thing. They are controlling our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. I don't know about you, but I would like to know how to crack those codes and get rid of them so that I can be creating what I want. What I just described to you is one method that gets rid of limiting beliefs, but please stay with me and meet Sandra because she's going to be giving us some amazing information about cracking those codes and having the life you want. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
Paula Shaw here. I'm thrilled that LifeWave phototherapy patches, which use no drugs or chemicals, have become a part of my life and my business. My family and I all use their wearable patch technology, and the results are life-changing. My parents in their 90s used the X39 patch, which activates stem cells, reverses aging, and improves the function of every area of the brain. I love X39 because I can work out with the 30-year-olds with no problem. And it's erased my fine lines and given my skin a youthful glow. LifeWave patches use a patented form of phototherapy, frequencies of light, to safely boost health and wellness at the cellular level. No drugs. To learn more, go to my website, lifewave.com/safe health. That's lifewave.com/safe health.
For those looking to improve their lives, there's nobody better to turn to than Paula Shaw. Paula helps people regain successful lives by identifying and eliminating self-sabotaging behavior using a multitude of mind-body techniques to identify and resolve their core issues. Working with a wide variety of healing modalities, she provides her clients with the most effective process for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio here with Paula Shaw. And as promised in this segment, I will be talking with Sandra Biskind. She and her husband Daniel are the authors of this book, Code Breaking: Discover the Password to Unlock the Best Version of You. All right. So before she joins us, let me tell you just a little bit about her. Sandra and Daniel are spiritual thought leaders, teachers of life mastery and development of high-frequency catalysts, international best-selling authors, and global inspiration teachers. They are #1 best-selling authors of this book that we just discussed, Codebreaker, Discover the Password to Unlock the Best Version of You. And they are transforming lives all over the world. And by the way, they're also Jack Canfield's favorite spiritual teachers and energy workers. So they come very highly recommended. And Sandra, by the way, I also want to say this woman is an amazing being, and I'm proud to call her my friend. And her work is extraordinary. So I'm delighted that you're with us. And Sandra, are you there?
I certainly am. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. It's great to be with you, Paula.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Well, I've been prepping everybody about this amazing work that you do. And, you know, I love this statement that I read in your material. Did you know you have unseen codes in your DNA that are controlling your life? Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, isn't it amazing when you hear that? You go, "What? Is that true?"
Oh my God!
and it is true. That's what we've discovered. And you know, we're all. There are probably like 8 billion plus codes on the planet, but they really all break down to 2, and that's fear and love. And so when you understand that we're either operating in the real world that is love, or we're operating in what we call the unreal world, which is fear, then you've got to understand that every time we are in the low frequency code of fear, that's when we start going into judgment, hatred, we declare war on each other, we're intolerant, impatient, we set our bodies up. That when we're in those codes, by the way, this is so important because we're setting off a chemical reaction, and our neurotransmitters are actually reacting. Our whole body is reacting, and we're setting up a whole different electromagnetic charge and a field around us that either supports and uplifts us if you're in the high-frequency love code, or, as you know, it completely starts to destroy and disrupt life. And then you start getting aging, disease, and unhappiness. So the code that you're in is so incredibly important. And it's a really easy way to know, am I feeling fear? Am I unhappy? Am I negative? You know you're in the wrong code. If you're feeling happy and grateful, then you're like, wow, I'm in this high-frequency code and it feels really good. And it's up to us to choose, to make the choice.
You know, Sandra, I've heard people say before, you've probably heard the acronym FEAR, false experience appearing real. And yet people, when they're afraid, feel like it's very real. What do we do with that?
Oh, yeah, no, it's very real. And what we do, that we've created a system which is so simple and effective. And you just said discover the password. And the password is platinum. And platinum stands for peace, love, awareness, trust, integrity, neutrality, unity, and mindfulness. And they're the high-frequency codes that we all want to be operating in. So when you're in fear, you've just lost your connection to love. So what you do with it, you go, fear, this feels really real to me. I'm afraid right now.
Right.
And then you go, okay, so what's happened? In this system, you go, oh, I get it. I've lost my connection to love. I'm not loving who I am, where I'm at, what I'm doing, and therefore I'm afraid. You know, I don't love myself enough to have done the work to show up for that interview. I don't love myself to think I'm good enough to show up for that date. And you go into fear and anxiety, right? And then when you go into anxiety and worry, what do? You go, oh, I get it. I've lost connection to trust. That's the T in platinum. So what am I not trusting to be true about myself? And so using this beautiful system, which is so simple and effective, whenever you're in that place where you're challenged on any level, you can go, well, what is it that I'm feeling? Because the minute I know what I'm feeling, I can take myself back into the code and into the frequency that I want to feel. And we've created lots of tools and techniques that people can use to get them back into the code of their choice.
So how did you discover these codes in the first place? Because I'm assuming from what you're saying, there are many codes, but the two biggest categories, so to speak, are love and fear. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. And look, there's a fear code. There's a unforgiveness code. Everything that you're going through is really encoded within us. Our DNA is just an encoding system, isn't it? And so everything that we've learnt from our ancestors, being conditioned from birth, everything we've brought in with us from our past lives and multidimensional realities, they're all encoded within our DNA, and they're the things that either turn off or turn on our genes. And so that's why this is so important, to free ourselves from the codes that do not uplift us. And by the way, all of these low-frequency codes are held in place in our unconscious mind. And this is where it gets really tricky and pretty sneaky, because the fact is that you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if it's in the unconscious, you don't know it's there. So somebody might come and say, hey, I'm going through this and it's because of this. But when I tap into their unconscious mind, and you know this because you do very similar work, it's never what you think it is. It's always something.
Right.
It's never what you think it is, right? Because the unconscious mind and the conscious mind, they don't match up. The conscious mind will say, hey, I can do this. I deserve to be a millionaire. I deserve to have the love of my life. And the unconscious mind is saying, who do you think you are? You're not enough, you're not beautiful, smart enough, you've got no hope. So when the unconscious mind is giving you a directive, when a program has been triggered off there, that's the one that's going to win every time, because the unconscious mind is running our business over 95% of the time. And that's why our job, everybody's job, is to actually activate and up-level your intuition to such a degree that you're able to unlock the full potential of living in, I was going to say a bug-free mind, but I was going to say living in a clear mind where you've cleared out the unconscious program. Like, for instance, to actually master peace in our lives, which is obviously the P in peace, we have to master unforgiveness. That's a superpower. But one of our superpowers is being able to forgive. Now, you can't forgive if the unconscious mind is saying, no, I'm the victim, I'm right, I have to be right, they're wrong, who do they think they are? And on and on and on, right? So again, what are we listening to? Are we going to listen to the unconscious mind, which, by the way, we don't even know it's coming from our unconscious? Or are we going to step into the highest possible frequency that is available to us? And by the way, these high-frequency codes are available to us in any moment. It's just the choice to either listen to the ego mind's unconscious program or to the true self ability to actually transcend them and live as this beautiful high-frequency divine being that we are.
So just to make sure I'm clear, are codes similar to or different from limiting beliefs?
They're the same. A limiting belief is a code, for sure. It'll have a code embedded in it. Yes, that's right.
I see.
And just like an expansive, limitless belief system is a code also, right? In fact, I would say that when you're in that limitless place, that's when you're in the love code, because in reality there is only love, and another word for love is God, full expansion, love is just, there is nothing more incredible for us to aspire to. It's just for love to experience more love, for God to know more God, for us to actually come home to who we are. And I think that's the key. We're all looking for something. We're all feeling that we're not enough on some level. We've all got these unconscious programs. But if we knew the truth is that we're none of those things. They're just crazy ideas that have become programs locked in this human computer, the mind is processing, the brain is processing these thought programs that we are giving it, and all it can do is process it, release the chemicals, the neurotransmitters, the electromagnetic fields that go with it, and voila, you have us pretending that we are not love, pretending that we are not good enough.
And so that helps me understand fear not being real. Very interesting. Sandra, we've barely begun to scratch the surface, and we need to take a little break. So would you stay with us, and we'll be right back?
Would love to.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
If you could rebuild your health on a solid foundation, would you do it? Do you have health issues that doctors just can't get to the bottom of, and all they do is prescribe pills to lessen your symptoms? Would you like a better way? Certified FDN practitioner Desiree Lawn founded Autoimmune Health Freedom because she struggled with health issues from childhood that could not be explained. Today, she lives a vibrant life, free of aches and pains and full of energy to enjoy activities with her family. The life you would like to live. How did she do it? Autoimmune Health Freedom has the tools you need. For a free discovery session, call 858-248-1657 or go to autoimmunehealthfreedom.com. That's autoimmunehealthfreedom.com. Yes, you can feel better again. You can rebuild your health. You can have the life you want. Call 858-248-1657.
Desiree Lawn is not licensed by the state of California as a healing arts practitioner.
Is living in today's fast-paced world making you feel stressed and out of balance? Are anxiety, sleeplessness, depression, lack of focus, or weight gain robbing you of your relationship and your energy? If you're ready for change, you need to call Paula Shaw. Paula helps you identify and eliminate self-sabotaging thinking and behavior. Using a wide variety of mind-body techniques, she provides her clients with the most effective processes for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio here with Paula Shaw. And I have on the phone with me today Sandra Biskind here about breaking the codes that are controlling your behavior and causing you to live a life that isn't the one you really want to be living. Sandra, a little while back on my show, I had a genetic researcher from Oxford who is a fabulous human being and one of my dear friends. Her name is Colby Kaur. And Dr. Kaur told us, which was news to me at the time and to a lot of people, that we actually inherit the genetic signatures of how our ancestors responded and reacted to life. So is that exactly, and that is epigenetics. That's science, right?
That's exactly what we talk about. And that's why, and you realize that those programs that we are reacting to, they're in our unconscious as well.
Right.
So however they reacted, we're doing it. And just imagine this, that not only have we inherited those, but we have inherited them from past lives. Now, you don't have to believe in past lives for this work to work with you. Mm-hmm. But during our work, we use a 4-part process where part of it is we do what we call corrections, where we actually delve into the unconscious mind and we neutralize and delete the emotional charge around one of these inherited or these brought in with us programs. And these genes, right, these genes that we've got brought down with us from our ancestors. For instance, I had one woman that came to me and she said, "You have to save my life. I've just had my blood taken and I've got the markers for diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, and high blood pressure, which was all of the women in my family have died from these things." And she came to one of our 3-day events, and of course we were working on her DNA. She became a time traveler to find out where all of this originated. We were correcting it out of her system, and she got up out off the floor on the last day and she said, "You've just saved my life." And I said, "How do you know?" She said, "Because I feel entirely different."
Wow.
And she went and had her blood tested, and she no longer had the markers for any of those genetically inherited diseases.
Goodness, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yes, it was phenomenal, Paula. And not many people have their blood tested or their brainwave tested before a program, right? But wouldn't it be great if they did? Because then you would see that these genetic markers don't have to turn, they don't need to be switched on.
Right.
When they're switched on, they can be switched off using this really beautiful, simple system. And healing is something that is, to me, it's like, yes, it's miraculous, but it's not really. It's normal. It's what the human being is capable of.
Right.
And so this is the exciting part about doing the work that we're all doing at the moment, and that is that, for those of us who have come in here with the gift to be able to tap into the matrix of your soul and pull out this information and then teach other people how to do it and have that experience. We've come here because there's a mission and a purpose, and we're mission purpose driven, and that is to actually help people change their state and to actually feel what it feels like to live as an enlightened whole being, which, by the way, is our natural state when you're not being run by these unconscious programs.
Right. And, and there's no way that anybody isn't being run by unconscious programs, right? Because you bring them in with you, you inherit them genetically.
Yes, that's right. So when people say, "Oh, I don't have that program," I just laugh. A lot of people don't even realize they're lying, but the majority of humanity is in denial. And if you actually think that the majority of humanity is still living with so much guilt, shame, and blame and anger, we understand why these genes are being turned on, and we understand how really powerful the unconscious mind is.
Oh, yes.
And that's why consciousness, like becoming a more conscious being, clearing out the unconscious, knowing what it feels like to have these, we do this, by the way, these transmissions of divine energy throughout our events, where we're changing brain state at the same time as we're expanding the heart. So you get this heart-brain coherence, and all of a sudden, you're a very different being. You can't wipe the smile off your face. You feel joy for no reason. And how many people feel that? And that's what we want. And plus the other thing, Paula, is I think that with platinum, the U in platinum is unity. And one of the things that I've discovered is that the more I have worked with this platinum system, the more I understand that I'm not separate from you. Like, I'm just talking to myself right now, and all the people listening, it's more me. And when I'm in a live event and I stand up in the front of the room, I practically sob with the absolute love of more of me sitting in front of me, and this unity, this feeling that you belong, that not only do you belong, but you're it. Like, this is just such a beautiful feeling. And can you imagine, there'd be no more jealousy.
Right.
If you thought that, if you saw somebody, for instance, who you thought they were thinner than you, or they had more money than you, or they lived in a better house than you, but if you looked at them and went, "Oh, that's me, I'm that thin. Oh, that's me, I'm living in that house." I mean, all of a sudden it's like, oh, the angst has gone out of it. I am doing these things. And that's the oneness and unity. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
It's just, it just takes, and because jealousy is one of those unconscious codes that slaps us around and has us doing and saying the most horrific things.
Oh, yes.
Judging ourselves and others. So you can see, like, in 10 minutes, I can't give you enough information, but I am trying to let you see how important actually mastering platinum is, because when you do that, you're mastering your own superpowers, and you're intuitively knowing what to say and not to say to the highest and best good of you, your family, and everyone around you. And boy, that makes a difference to the quality of your life and your health.
Oh, yes, I can imagine. So Sandra, just so our listeners understand kind of the nitty-gritty, So we have these codes, and we need to become aware of the codes, and then we need to crack the codes, right? We need to neutralize them, I believe is the word you used. And is that what you guide people to do, or could they do this by reading your book?
Yes, they can do it by, there's a number of ways that you can crack your own code and use the platinum password to change your life. Mm-hmm. And it's not even changing your life, it's more expanding out from where you are to have more and be more, right? So, reading Codebreaker does it, listening to Codebreaker does it. Our live event, obviously, the 3-day live event called Activate Enlightenment, naturally, that's where people are taught the system and they change their state instantly, and then they go away, and for the rest of their life they can use the system to negotiate any challenging situation whatsoever. And so people are coming back 3 and 4 times because they're going, I just changed my life. I just got an inheritance that wasn't meant to happen. I've got, magical things begin to happen when you're using this system and this code. So learning the system is really important. It's easy. It's simple to learn, not necessarily easy, because remember, the unconscious mind is pretty sneaky. And the minute you start to feel good, it's going to go, hang on, you don't deserve to feel good.
Yeah, we don't want you to change. Let's stay here where it's familiar.
Exactly. Yeah. Just keep the abuse going, the judgments, be worried about your next paycheck. Whereas that's not necessarily the way that anyone was ever meant to live. And it's only our unconscious programs that have gotten us into this place. So you coming to the live events, but then what we do, we love helping people. So we do free events that start you off on the system, that give you a real boost into this. They're actually little masterclasses all of their own. And we've got one coming up Friday and Sunday. So it's like this. We've got these free events. We've got these beautiful Activate Enlightenment signature events where you learn the system. And then we've got a full-on mentorship and coaching certification program where we teach you to do what we do. In other words, making ourselves redundant. Because unless other people can do what we do, then, at 66 and 73, when we've gone, this incredibly divinely downloaded body of work is gone with us.
Yes.
So the three, start with the free events and the books, move to Activate Enlightenment, and then come into the mentorship and coaching certification program. It's kind of this progression of life, really. How we start off as this, this baby, and we're learning, and then we're the teenager, and we got to get it, and then we grow into this incredible adult. And that's, I've never said that before, but it's a bit of fun seeing it that way. And it's a transformational process that, having done this work for 4 decades now, thousands and thousands of people around the world, we see that it works. And, it took us 5 years to write Codebreaker. And the reason it did was because we started using the system before we launched the book to make sure that every single thing that was in that book worked. And that it was the truth.
Sandra, you know what? I want you to come back for one more segment because we still have so much to talk about. Will you stay with us?
We do. Yes, I'd love to.
Okay, great. Then we will be right back with Sandra Biskind after this message.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
Jack Gutman survived World War II and then returned home to the hardest fight of his life with PTSD and alcoholism. Now at age 93, he's a businessman and comedian, sharing his message of recovery and hope in his new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, helping our heroes and anyone who has experienced PTSD find happiness again. Get Jack Gutman's new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, at Amazon.com, or to order a signed copy, call 714-525-4954.
For those looking to improve their lives, there's nobody better to turn to than Paula Shaw. Paula helps people regain successful lives by identifying and eliminating self-sabotaging behavior using a multitude of mind-body techniques to identify and resolve their core issues. Working with a wide variety of healing modalities, she provides her clients with the most effective process for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. I am so excited about the conversation that we're having today with Sandra Biskind about breaking the codes to having a great life, having the life that you really want. And if you're just joining us, in the last segment, she was talking about these subconscious codes and codes in our DNA that we don't even know we have that are actually controlling our behavior, our thoughts, our responses. And she is in this book, Code Breaking, which she and her husband, Daniel Biskind, wrote. They give us the keys to how to go in there and break those codes. But for those of you that can't look at a book that's nearly an inch thick and imagine yourself reading it, they have events where you can go to the live event, and Sandra and Daniel themselves will help you break those codes. So Sandra, before we even go on, you just mentioned a free event that is tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. And
Sunday.
I'm sorry. So is it Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Sunday?
It's Friday at 4 p.m.
Okay.
And Sunday at 11 a.m. And we do the 11 a.m. one for all of our people on the other side of the planet to make it easy for them to get to it.
And is this an online event?
Yes, we do this in
good.
Facebook Live. Yeah, we've got a Facebook group called Activate Abundance.
Activate, was that Activate Abundance?
Sandra and Daniel Biskind Activate Abundance. But
okay.
Paula, you're going to have a link that you can give everyone, and they can register and come in for free. And this is called Take Your Life to the Next Level Energy Experience. And it'll be like 60 to 90 minutes where we're giving you this beautiful divine wisdom, but we'll be doing corrections of unconscious programs to actually correct out DNA, gene, all the things we've been talking about, gene expression, anxiety, fear. We'll be doing corrections for all of that, and a meditation which is going to be activating this incredible, you're activating a stronger connection with your true self, which obviously is the love that you are. So we've been working on this for weeks now, and I'm really excited about it. So 4 p.m. Friday and 11 a.m. Sunday. They're both going to be live. And by the way, because we are given the information as we're talking to you, depending on the group and who's there, each one will be slightly different. Mm-hmm. And so it's really fun to come onto both of them. And
you know what? Just in case, Sandra, because I don't have the exact link with me right now, right. And show notes won't go up for a couple of days. If they go to your Facebook page, can they just get on?
They can. So what they have to do is go into Sandra and Daniel Biskind.
Okay.
Activate Abundance. But I can actually give you, I'll just say what this is now. This is such an easy one to remember. If you've got a pen,
mm-hmm.
Next level 220. Next level 220 is the link for it. So it's bit.ly/next level 220. And that will take them directly into the registration page. So that's bit.ly, bit.ly with a dot in between, /next level 220.
Okay, next level 220. So hopefully you all heard that. It's bit.ly, bit.ly /next level 220.
Yeah,
and
I think they have to put I think they have to put the HTTP before it,
Okay.
Maybe not. Yeah. And yet, please, if you just go to the Sandra and Daniel Biskind's Activate Abundance Facebook group, you'll see in there that it's right at the top where it's easy for you to register.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I mean, and that's tomorrow at Friday at 4:00, and 4:00 p.m. Eastern or Pacific.
Pacific, yes.
Pacific. Okay, 4:00 Pacific, and then Sunday will be 11 a.m. Pacific, and it's online.
Yeah, but
you guys can watch in your jammies. Perfect.
Yeah, right, it's Facebook Live. And the great thing is that for all of the people who are going to listen to this in the future, we've decided we're going to keep this up for a little while, maybe until May, which means that if you are hearing this, you can go into Sandra and Daniel Biskind's Activate Abundance Facebook page, and you can still get the benefits of these classes, energy experience master classes. So we really want people to be able to get this.
That's so great because I can't do Sunday and I'm dying to do it. So I will go right to your Facebook page and do that one the day after. So
yeah, exactly. You can do it in your own time.
And Sandra, there's also another event, this 3-day event you talked about when you were discussing in earlier segments, the woman who actually you saved her life. So what happens at a 3-day event? Is that online as well?
No, the 3-day event is in Marina del Rey at the Marriott Hotel, and it's live. And honestly, there's something very magical about being in a live event with very high consciousness group of people.
Of course.
We've got people coming in from all over the world, and in those 3 days, you will have learned the Platinum Life system that will change the way you react and how you react. And it'll change your state, like no matter what you're going through, worry, anxiety, depression, jealousy, anger, you will have the ability to actually change out of that pretty well instantly. And that's a big, big deal. Yeah, you actually are in control. But the most important thing is that you'll learn what's happening in your unconscious. It's like the biggest eye-opener of all time. You get to find out what is going on in your unconscious mind, and you get to get free of it. And getting free of the emotional charge around the events, emotions, and decisions of your past and sent down from your parents, there's nothing more important than that freedom. It's like truly forgiven, free forever. It's like it's I can't explain it. We've had people come in who this has been their last ditch stand, and they've said it. If this doesn't work for me, I'm out of here. Like they really were at that stage, and sobbing throughout the weekend. And then at the end of the week, they've got tears of joy because now they understand. Oh wow, I know who I really am.
Yes,
I know what's been driving me. I'm free, and it's a very unique 3-day event because it's not just us teaching, it's you having an experience the whole time.
And
you become a quantum time traveler. It's beautiful.
How do people get information on that? Or if they're listening and they're already going, I know this is for me, how do they register for that?
Okay, so Activate Enlightenment is on the Biskind's website page. So if you go to the Biskind's, TheBiskinds /events. Just go to the Biskind /events, and then it will come up straight away where you can actually press on it, get more information, and register now. The early bird savings of $500 is still valid for the next 2 weeks. And also, I think you might even find the next level. I'm hoping that my team have got the next level registration up there as well. But yeah, go to the Biskind /events and you'll actually be able to click on Activate Enlightenment. And by the way, we're doing the same event May 1st to 3rd in Melbourne in Australia. So all of the people down under get to have this live experience as well.
Wow.
Or Americans who have been wanting to go to Australia for a while now, you have a good excuse
yours truly
to land in Melbourne. Right.
Yeah. Now, Sandra, let me ask you about that link you just gave, the Biskind's /events. Is it then .com or is there a .com?
No, it's thebiskinds.com, so that's the website.
Thebiskinds.com.
/events.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but if you just even go into thebiskinds.com, you'll see at the top of it events, and you can just click on the events page.
Okay, and we definitely will have that in the show notes on changeitupradio.com. So if you're listening to this show and you're driving or running or doing something and unable to write anything down, then please go to changeitupradio.com, click on the Listen In tab, find Sandra's show, which will probably be right at the top, and then when you click on that, you'll go not only to an opportunity to hear the show, but a complete page of show notes, highlights from what she talked about, all the contact info that you need. So all of that is always on our Change It Up Radio website, which is changeitupradio.com. So Sandra, we're done. I don't know how this happened, but we're down to our last minute. And I wonder if you could give our listeners one or two tips for how to live this more beautiful, expanded life, what would they be?
Oh, take a deep breath, meditate whenever you can, focus your attention into your heart, and live the love that you are. And, be kind to yourself. Know that you're good enough. You've always been good enough. And as you do that, you stop judging yourself, and then that means you can stop judging others.
Oh, what a perfect ending. Sandra, thank you so much for gracing my show today with your beautiful presence. I'm so delighted to know you and so delighted to have shared you with my listeners. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you, you too, Paula. Love you so much.
Thank you, and you.
Bye.
And thank you to all my listeners for being present here. And remember that you can hear us on AM 1170 and 96.1 FM, The Answer, on Sunday evenings at 9 o'clock. We're on every major podcast platform, including iHeartRadio and Blog Talk. And if you forget all of that, just ask Siri or ask Alexa. And by the way, when you go to our show, please subscribe. You'll get a little notice every time we post a new show. Review and rate the show. That would be great, and it would really help us to grow. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Change It Up with life transitions expert, speaker, and best-selling author, Paula Shaw. Join the Change It Up movement with Paula Shaw as we explore topics that inspire, welcome change, and create a new kind of conversation. To learn more about Paula, how to be a guest on the show, and sponsorship opportunities, visit changeitupradio.com. Whether you're feeling happy, sad, mad, or glad, it never hurts to change it up.